Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, well, recently in general, I've been thinking a lot about personal relationships, and today I was thinking about what does it mean to do the bare minimum in a relationship. And before today, I was more so on a thing of taking it from a results-based approach. And so if the relationship isn't good, then that means that there's always something that you're doing incorrectly. And I don't think it's necessarily a horrible approach, but it can definitely be an unhealthy one. And the reason why it's unhealthy is because relationships are a two-way street. Therefore, it cannot just be, all the onus cannot just be on one person. So today, what I thought of as a principle for what is the bare minimum in a relationship, it's that so long, given that the other person is doing what they're meant to be doing, so long as your actions elicit a net positive for your relationship, then you're doing the bare minimum. So the reason why I say net positive and not neutral, because some people might be thinking it's bare minimum, so why is it not neutral? For humans, it's pretty much impossible to stay stagnant for a long period of time. We're either improving or we're getting worse. And in terms of what do you mean by as long as the other person is doing what they should be doing? This is very context based, but largely is common sense, and also giving Islamic rights in this case as well. And I think this is a lot healthier than just saying that, if the relationship isn't getting better, there's always something that I'm doing wrong. Because, to be honest, the other person can just be making you jump through so many hoops and nothing gets better because the other person doesn't want it to be better and they just want you to keep jumping through hoops for them. So, genuinely, like, as long as what you're doing would elicit a net positive, if the other person's doing what they're meant to be doing, then you're doing what you should be. At the very least, the bare minimum. Now, how well you want is just, as long as if you want to do better, then try and do things that elicit more than just a net positive, and take it further into that net positive. Don't just keep it at, we're up +1. If you want it to be better, then just bare minimum. I was going to say something else. Can't remember. But yeah, no, that's the main thing, is just as long as you're doing what you should be. Genuinely. Oh yeah, this is also the other thing. And let's say that you know the other person's doing what they're meant to be doing. If your actions aren't creating a net positive, then you know you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. Because if you're seeing the other person's putting in all of this effort and whatnot, and your actions aren't creating that net positive, then you're the one that's actually not doing the bare minimum. And when I say should, another thing is also that you need to have realistic expectations of what the other person can do. Obviously, you know what the other person's context is in terms of their life, what they're going through, stuff like this, how much time do they have to give, all of this stuff. You know this about them. And so we should be merciful towards one another as well in terms of with our expectations. And again, just remember your intention is for the sake of Allah. You want to have good relations with people for the sake of Allah. On the Day of Judgment, you don't want people to come with bad things to say about you, because it just makes that day all the longer for you. But yeah, that's the reflection for today. Ramadan is close, so yeah, we need to just make sure you're setting in your habits now. Make sure you're keeping them steady, because if you drop the ball, it becomes harder to just pick it up. So yeah, make sure you're staying on top of things. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.